Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. Today we have fairies for Yu-Gi-Oh's Edison format. If you guys like old school formats like Goat, Edison, Tengu Plant, hat format, we have it all here plus more. Some of those more niche retro formats, so like the video, subscribe. It's all free of charge. So we have a 40 card main deck and a 15 card extra deck. We'll go over the main deck first. Oops, forgot one here. Okay. Alright, to start off with, we have Archlord Christia. This card is insanely broken. Let me read it for you guys. It says, if you have exactly 4 fairy monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, target 1 fairy monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Neither player can special summon monsters. That is the broken effect right there. If this face-up card would be sent from the field to the graveyard, place it on top of the deck instead. So the fact that they can't special summon, they have to try and out a 2800 monster, with a normal summon. Hopefully they can get off like a Caius or a Ryza or something, because we're going to keep beating you down and hopefully you don't have a tribute. Alright, so next up we have another broken card. We have Semi-Limited Honest. It's great that Honest is a fairy, and it's great that most fairies are lights. The synergy with this card in this deck is very real. Being able to load up that graveyard with with fairies by discarding it. Next up, we have the recruiter of the deck. We're playing 3 Shining Angel. Shining Angel says that when this card is destroyed by a battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a light monster with 1500 less attack. Pretty good. Next up, we have 2 Soul of Purity and Light. Soul of Purity and Light will let you change out those ratios in your graveyard of how many fairies you have in case you have too many. Or maybe you need to get less because you're about to set up a few more in graveyard. Whatever you need to do to get to 4 fairies, this will help you accomplish it. It says, this card can only be special by removing from play 2 light monsters in your graveyard from play. So because we play like non-fairy lights as well, like DD Warrior Lady if she gets there somehow, you can also just remove 1 fairy if you need to, if that ever comes up. But back to what I was saying, it says, as long as this card remains face up on the field, decrease the attack of monsters on your opponent's side of the field by 300 points during his or her battle phase. So it's got that special summon effect, which allows you to change the ratios. It's a 2000 beater off a special summon, which is pretty nice. And then it's going to decrease your opponent's monsters. Alright, next up we're playing another 2 recruiters. Shining Angel is inherently better just because it's light monsters in general. Nova Summoner is going to be that 4th and 5th copy though. But this is basically the same thing as Shining Angel, except for it has to be a light fairy type monster. So for our deck, it's basically the same thing, aside from the DD Warrior Ladies. So that's the only downside, and that's why we're playing 2 instead of 3. Next up, we have Dimensional Alchemist. This guy has insane synergy with the deck, as well as with DD Warrior Lady. He says, once per turn, you can activate this effect to remove from play the top card of your deck, and give this card 500 attack until the end phase. So it goes up to 1800. It's to banish a card, do a little bit of deck thinning. When this card is destroyed and sent from your side of the field to your graveyard, you can select one of your remove play monsters and return it to your hand. So that's a lot of recursion with DD Warrior Lady if she gets banished. Next up, we have another broken card. This deck plays so many broken cards. We're playing 3 Herald of the Orange Light. Herald of the Orange Light says, you can send this card and one other fairy type monster from your hand to the graveyard to negate the activation of an effect monster. To negate the activation of an effect monster your opponent controls and destroy it. You can activate this effect during either player's turn, which is the old way of saying quick effect. Next up, we have DD Warrior Lady. Been mentioning her a lot. She's really good. She could banish an opponent's monster when she does battle with it, so that's pretty good in Edison format to be able to get something to the banish zone rather than the graveyard. And lastly, we're playing the 1 Gores. It's not a fairy, it's not a light, but card's broken, so we'll play it as a 1 of. And that is it for the monsters. If you have any changes that you would make, let me know down below. Let's move on to the spells and traps. First up, we have some power spells. We're playing 1 Heavy Storm, 1 MST, 1 Brain Con, 1 Mind Control, and 3 Book of Moon. I really like Book of Moon in this build. Next up, we're playing some traps. We got Mirror Force, Solemn, honorary fairy card. Always I think about what's called counter fairies. So I think Solemn Judgment has a fairy card. Next up, we have Call of the Haunted, Torrential Tribute, Broken card, Trap Death Shoot, Broken card, Return for Different Dimension. Some more good cards, 2 bottomless. And we're playing this Beat to Hell, Deep Prison, and then 2 more Deep Prisons. So we got 3 Deep Prisons. And that is it for the 40 card main. Pretty standard right here, just nothing but staples, don't really have to explain too much. If there's anything you would play instead of this, let me know down below. You could potentially play Beckoning Light. But I kind of like that more in the Lightsworn build, Christy of Sworn. But it does help you change out ratios if you need to, especially if you're ditching. Yeah, you know, it's just easy to make fairies. I don't know what I was going to say about that, but it's easy to get a bunch of fairies in graveyard with Beckoning Light, so that's an option. Next up, we have the extra deck, 15 card extra. We have 2 Chimera type Fortress Dragon, super generic, so might as well play it. We got 1 Armor Arm, level 4. Catastor, level 5. Another level 5 Android. For our level 6s, we're playing YUGIOH Guardian and Bryonic. Just generic cards, both limited to 1. For our level 7s, we're playing this First Ed Ulti Ancient Sacred Wyvern, because we can play it. It requires a light tuner, and then 1 or more non-tuner monsters. I think Herald of the Orange Light. Well, I think I know. I know Herald of the Orange Light is a light tuner, so that works out for us. That's how you're going to make that. It says when your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card gains attack equal to the difference. When your life points are lower than your opponent's, this card loses attack equals to the difference. When this card is destroyed by a battle and sent to the graveyard, you can pay 1,000 life points to special summon this card. For our last level 7, we have Black Rose Dragon, limited to 1 blowout card. For our level 8s, we have a deck specific. We have Avenging Knight Parshath, who's also a fairy. It says 1 tuner, then 1 or more non-tuner light monsters. Once per turn, you can change the battle position of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. During the battle between this attacking card and a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the attack of this card, inflict the difference as battle damage, so it does piercing. For some more generic level 8s, we have quite a few. We have Stardust, Colossal, RDA, and Thought Ruler. And then to round it off, we have Mistworm as level 9. And that is it for the extra deck, guys. That's it for the deck profile, actually. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know down below. If I'm doing a good job, let me know as well. If you guys like Goat, Edison, Tengu, or hat format, we have it all here on the channel. So subscribe for more. Like the video. Peace out.